Considered the American Caribbean, the Florida Keys are a string of subtropical islands stretching 120 miles off the southern tip of Florida, dividing the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. What once was the land of shipwrecks is now visited by more than 5 million people each year, including you. Here are 25 things you can do on your trip to the Florida Keys. The first island you will arrive in is Key Largo. It is the largest island in the Florida Keys. Start your Florida Keys trip with a bang at John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park. One of the things that you must do when in the Keys is go out to the reef. Here from this park, you can do a snorkel tour that is $50 per person. The tour is 2.5 hours long with 1 to 1.5 hours of water time. They do have equipment rental if you don't have snorkel gear. This is a must-do in the Florida Keys because the coral reef at John Pennekamp are among the most beautiful and diverse of all living communities. They also have scuba diving tours if you are scuba certified. If not, they offer a full PADI open water certification 4-day class that includes everything you need to become a PADI certified diver. That course is $540. John Pennekamp State Park also offers glass bottom boat tours if you do not want to get in the water. The tours are 2.5 hours long and $50 per person. After your day of snorkeling, you'll be super hungry and you'll want to grab dinner at Hobo's Cafe. While the name might not sound very appetizing, the food is delicious. We always try to stop at Hobo's Cafe when in the Keys. We tried the seafood hobo tonight and it's outstanding. This is our third time at Hobo's Cafe and each time it's been amazing. It's the big spiny lobster. Were you even in the Florida Keys if you don't stop at the Big Lobster statue for some pictures? Wow. One of our favorite things to do in Islamorada is kayak out to the sandbar. We park and launch our kayaks from under the Snake Creek drawbridge and make our way out to the Atlantic Ocean to the Islamorada sandbar. Once you get out to the Atlantic, you'll see all the boats at the sandbar on your right and just head out that way. But remember, this is only if the weather permits. We don't go kayaking if the wind is over 10 miles per hour. Be safe. Another epic kayaking adventure is paddling out to Indian Key. Indian Key used to be home to a small population of people. The island does have an interesting and grim history of a massacre, which we go in detail about in a separate video that you need to check out. Now it is a state park. This is a great way to spend a day in the Keys. There's a few parking spots on Indian Key Phil along the overseas highway which you can park and launch your kayak from. Again, you're going to be going out in a channel in the open ocean, so only go out when the wind and waves are calm. Right by Indian Key is Robbie's Marina. People stop by Robbie's to feed tarpon. They have a restaurant, Hungry Tarpon, which is nice to grab lunch at. They have little souvenir shops, and here's another place you can book snorkeling, snuba, glass bottom boat tours, and rent jet skis or a boat. You can rent kayaks to paddle to Indian Key from here if you did not bring your own. Which brings us to the 8th thing you need to do in the Florida Keys: boating. Bring your own or rent a boat. On the water is the best place to be in the Florida Keys. The Keys have some world-class fishing, so if you have the time, definitely go fishing or lobstering. You can fish from the many bridges on the overseas highway, you can fish from a kayak, you can hire a fishing charter and go out with a professional, which is going to be your best bet if you don't have much experience fishing in the Keys. You'll need to purchase a Florida fishing license and make sure you know what is in season and what you're allowed to catch. Lobster season typically runs from August through March. When in the Keys, you need to eat some of the local seafood. Eat conch fritters, spiny lobster, stone crab, snappers, groupers, pink shrimp. Eat all the seafood you can because it's fresh from the ocean just steps away. And of course, you must eat a good slice of key lime pie. The Florida Keys is where this dessert originated, so why not eat a delicious slice at a waterfront restaurant? By the way, we found the best slice of key lime pie in Key West. Watch that video next. There's not many places to hike in the Keys, but if you're looking to do a quick 1.2-mile hike, check out the Golden Orb Trail at Long Key State Park. It's a 1.2-mile loop that traverses uncommon habitats found primarily in the Florida Keys, and it does have sections that run along the Atlantic Ocean shoreline with pretty views. We're now halfway through the Keys in Marathon. There are 2 facilities in Marathon that offer dolphin interactions, the Dolphin Connection or the Dolphin Research Center. Fun for all ages as you get to learn more about these beautiful creatures. Have a beach day at Sombrero Beach Park in Marathon, one of the few beautiful beaches in the Florida Keys that is maintained and has restrooms and a playground. It is paid parking. Check out the Turtle Hospital. It's a small, nonprofit organization that nurtures sick and injured sea turtles back to health and releases them back into the wild. It is $35 per person for a 90-minute guided tour where you can see and feed the turtles. Visit Curry Hammock State Park. They have a small beach area. It's a great place to launch a kayak and paddle to the Marathon sandbar. You can also paddle around the entire island of Little Crawl Key that Curry Hammock is located on, and go underneath a very low bridge that only kayakers can get through. A third option is to kayak around Deer Key. Any path you take, it will be an awesome day on the water. Visit the Florida Keys Aquarium Encounters in Marathon. This aquarium includes touch tanks, and you can purchase an extra pass to feed all the animals there. The staff does presentations and live feedings throughout the day. This is a great stop any day, but especially if it's raining. Check out Crane Point Hammock Museum and Nature Trails. For $15 per person, you can experience a fish pedicure, walking trails through palm and mangrove hammocks out to beautiful views of the Gulf of Mexico. See butterflies in a meadow conservatory, view a bird sanctuary, visit a museum and a historic home built in the early 1900s that gives a glimpse of life in the Keys back then. Recently, in 2022, the old 7 Mile Bridge was reopened after a 5-year renovation. The 2.2-mile stretch of renovated bridge is a section of Henry Flagler's original overseas railroad, and now is a beautiful place to walk, cycle, rollerblade, or watch the sunrise or sunset. One of our favorite things to do in the Keys is an evening walk on this bridge that feels like a walk into the middle of the ocean. So beautiful. Sometimes you'll spot some sea creatures like sea turtles coming up for air, stingrays, tarpon. This is a must, even if just a quick stop along the overseas highway to stretch your legs. At the end of the renovated 2.2-mile span of the old 7 Mile Bridge is a little island called Pigeon Key. While the old 7 Mile Bridge is open to the public, Pigeon Key is only accessible with an admission fee. General admission via train that departs 4 times a day is $25 per adult. General admission without the train is $15 per adult. It is only open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can take a guided tour of Pigeon Key and the historical buildings dating back to 1908, when the island was used as a work camp for the men who built the Key West extension of Overseas Railroad. Or a self-guided tour. You can bring your own snorkel gear and snorkel around the island, also pack a picnic to enjoy. The 21st thing to do in the Florida Keys, which is a must, visit Bahia Honda State Park. This is the most popular state park in the Florida Keys for good reason. It has 3 beaches to check out, with Sandspur Beach being the longest stretch of beach in the Florida Keys. Just a heads up, the state parks in the Keys don't clean the seaweed off the beaches. Bahia Honda is awesome for kayaking, paddleboarding, snorkeling, even a little bit of hiking up to the old bridge for some beautiful views of the island and surrounding water. Great place to watch the sunset up here. The concession offers a snorkeling tour out to Sugarloaf Key National Marine Sanctuary. This park is the best of the Florida Keys. Horseshoe Beach was once a quarry and now is a great spot to snorkel or even dive. Some say there is an ambulance at the bottom, which is about 30 feet deep. But if you don't want to dive, you can snorkel along the perimeter and see some beautiful tropical fish. Now we're at Big Pine Key, where you can spot key deer. This is an endangered small subspecies of the white-tailed deer that lives only in the Florida Keys. Sometimes you can spot them on the overseas highway, but if not, turn into a side street and eventually you will come across the deer. Remember, no touching or feeding the deer. Running along the overseas highway is the Florida Keys Overseas Heritage Trail. It's more than 90 linear miles of existing trail paved in segments along the planned 106-mile corridor from Key Largo to Key West. You can walk or bike along this trail. Currently, some of the bridges are closed due to safety reasons, but there are still long stretches along the Keys for recreational use. And our final thing to do in the Florida Keys is in Sugarloaf Key. Here you can jump off the jumping bridge into a canal or bike past the jumping bridge out to the Burnout Bridge and around Loop Road. You may be wondering, what about Key West? Well, we have just as many things to do in Key West alone that we had to make a separate video for it. Watch that next. If this list of 25 things to do in the Florida Keys was helpful, please leave a like on this video. We have lots of videos from the Florida Keys to check out next, everything from travel guides to the best key lime pie in Key West to best happy hour meals. Let us know what is your favorite thing to do when in the Keys, and definitely subscribe. We'd love to have you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.